Hello everybody, what's going on? My name is Jared or Fruitch GFX, and today I'm going to actually do a tutorial like it says in my channel banner, or at least has it said in my channel banner. What I'm going to do is a tutorial of this on screen. It's how to make just a general idea for a gaming banner. This is specifically for gaming. I mean, I guess it could work for vlogs too, but I'm aimed more towards gaming in this tutorial. Anyways, instead of going on talking about stuff, let me go ahead and get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your web browser. Now, just for simplicity, I'm not going to use Google Chrome. I'm just going to open up Microsoft Edge, and if you use a Mac, you can use Safari or Google Chrome, because Google Chrome is cross-platform, so you can use that. I actually recommend that more, but my Google Chrome is giving me problems, so I'm going to have to use Microsoft Edge. Anyways, what you're going to do is go to Google, or any media, like you use Bing, you can use Bing, just whatever gives you photos. What you're going to want to do is whatever game you're playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do generic Call of Duty. So let's just go to Call of Duty Black Ops 3 because that's the newest one. Probably not the most popular one, but definitely the newest one. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now what you're going to want to do, this is very important, go to Search Tools, go to Size, and look for larger than 4 megapixels. For a thumbnail, you are really going to want it to be larger than 4 megapixels because that is high definition quality. If it is lower than that, it may not look as nice, it may not come out as nice, so I definitely recommend 4 megapixels. If you can't get that, go for 2 megapixels, but 4 megapixels is highly recommended. Now, as you can see, you got a lot of high-res photos right here. And it doesn't matter about the watermark as long as it's small. If it's got like a small watermark in the corner, that's alright. Just go for a photo that you like. I'm going to use the photo we used in our example, and I'm going to use this one. Let's wait for it to load real quick. Okay, so once your photo loads, what you're going to want to do is right click it and go to Save Picture. You might already have it saved to go to your downloads folder. I have it set to where it opens up and tells me where I want to save it. Let's just save it to download. It's alright that it's a JPEG image. That is completely fine. So just go ahead and download that, and then it should end up in your downloads folder. So let's go ahead and minimize our browser. And what you're going to want to do now is go into Photoshop, create a new, new project, okay? Now make it 1280 by 720. That is what you're going to want your thumbnail size to be. Resolution, I don't think that matters unless you're printing something out, but just to be safe, keep it on like 250 or 300 or whatever. Make sure it's 1280 by 720 pixels, not inches, not centimeters, millimeters, points, picas, columns, pixels. Make sure it's pixels. And then just hit OK and give it a second, and it should load a 1280 by 720 project canvas. And initialize your type tool, whatever. And then it should come up right here. There we go. Now what you're going to want to do is go to your photo that you just downloaded or saved or whatever. And you can also copy it instead of saving it. I like saving it because, I don't know, I just like saving it. You can copy it though. But just make sure it somehow ends up in your project. Drop it, copy it, paste it, whatever. Let it load, and boom, you'll have a really nice high definition photo. But as you can see in your thumbnail, you're probably not going to want this pesky little watermark. If you don't care about it, then that's alright. But just for our sake, what we're going to do is hit Shift. Make sure you hit Shift so it keeps the resolution of the photo. And then drag this out. And try to get like a good little area from the scene. Like, I'd say that looks pretty good. Just about. Hit the check mark up here. And let's make sure it's alright. Hit V. Yeah, I think that's alright. Now, create another layer. Now we're going to go back into our browser. And what we're going to do is go to the top of Google and search for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Let's just look up a certain gun. VMP maybe. Let's just look that up. Now, you're probably not going to find one if you keep your search tools on larger than 4 megapixels. So just go back to any size. And then what you're going to want to do, I said search tools again, go to color and go to transparent. Now all you need to do is find a gun that is transparent and just shows the player holding it. This is the VMP, this is the KUDA. I don't know if it's just CUDA or KUDA, so I'm just going to call it that. But let's just go ahead and snag the VMP. As you notice, it's not super high res, but don't worry too much about that. Just save it. It's not like we're going to have to upscale it, so it doesn't need to be super high resolution. So I think that's downloaded. Let's just go ahead and bring that in. Now just drop it in, place it wherever you want it. You're definitely going to have to downscale it. That it upscales itself automatically to try to fit with the resolution of the project. So just drag it over to the bottom corner right there and then hide it. Don't worry about it right now. What we're going to focus on is making this photo right here look better. So just drag this underneath for now. Now what you're going to want to do is go to this top one, rasterize your layer. Make sure it's rasterized. Now you're going to want to go down here to this little blue dot right here, or not a blue dot, it's not blue, just this little dot right here, and it should give you lots of options for like ways to change your photo. Go to black and white. Now if I can actually get it loaded up, this is what the example is. I know I showed it at the beginning of the video, but just as a reference point, I want to show you how we're going to make it. I'll put it on my other screen so we won't have to focus on it. But this is kind of what I'm going to try to make right here. I'm going to try to make this. Now, as you can see, what I did is made it black and white, or at least lowered the saturation quite a bit in the background. I added this little red tint up here, red tint down here, and around the gun I added a little glow. You don't have to do that, just do whatever makes you comfortable. You don't need to do what I'm doing exactly. Make your own style, do not follow me in my entirety, otherwise it's just not going to feel comfortable or might be smooth for you. I'm just teaching you methods of how to do and get a kind of thing like this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this layer, I'm going to put it on overlay at first. Now this is what I want to mess with at first, and then we can change it to black and white later if we want to. But let's just go ahead, let's turn the reds up a little bit, yellows down, greens. Greens aren't really affected. I'm going to turn it down though. See, I need cyans. There's a little bit. It's just like little lighting places where shadow doesn't touch. I'll turn that up a little bit. I mean, I guess we can turn that up too. But I'm not really liking the way it looks on overlay, so we're just going to go to normal. And we're just going to reset all of this to default. Let's see, all of this to default. Here we go. Alright, let's just set that all to default. We'll just keep it all black and white and just drop the opacity of this filter a little bit to where it just creates a low saturation on the image. Maybe a little more saturation. We don't want anything that's going on in the background to be the primary focus though. Now take out your VMP again. Just drag it up so you know where it is. You might want to drag it above the black and white layer because this is more of where you're going to want your focus to be at on the gun that you're holding or whatever object you put down there for whatever game or vlog or whatever you're trying to do this for. Like I said at the beginning, this is primarily for gaming, specifically first-person shooters, but you can use it for whatever game you feel you can make it useful for. So what we're going to do next, let me just gather my thoughts. What we're going to do next is create a new layer, okay? Now hit B, go to your brush tool. Now what I personally do, I go and I select the brush I want first, and then I hit Control, Alt, and the right mouse button, and then I drag right or left to change the size and up or down for the hardness. And then you can just go and change the opacity of it after you do this layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of this size, but make the hardness 0%. Now what we're going to do is what color you want this thumbnail to be, just go to it. Let's just do what I did in my, I'm going to guess my test one, my example one. Just go up here to like right about this area and hit shift and draw just a straight line. So what you're going to do is hit shift, tap on your mouse wheel. Well, hold on, let me clear that out. Hit shift, tap on your mouse wheel, and what you can do is just go to the other end, and while holding shift still, hit the button again, and it should make a straight line for you. And do it on both the top and bottom. You're going to want to click first before you hold shift again, and then just do it again. Now drop this layer. I need to see, is this what I did? Drop it on overlay and toggle the opacity a little bit. Now another thing I did is I created another layer to go above that. This one's going to go on overlay, and we're going to make this one either a white or a kind of off-white. It doesn't really matter that heavily. but just go I'm hitting the brackets key to change it so much, and just create like a little light right there, just random little lights. Make them bunches of different sizes. Make some of them off screen so it's very like subtle, and yeah, it'll just help bring a little extra something to your photo that most people don't really typically do. So once you have that, you can toggle the opacity on that to what you want. I'm just gonna leave it on that. I think that looks pretty decent so far. So the VMP, I'm gonna leave it under there. Now we need to rasterize the VMP layer. Go into blending options, and you can do whatever you want to your gun. What I'm going to do, because it's what I did in my example photo, is just go to the drop shadow, or not drop shadow, we're going to go to the outer glow, sorry. Now toggle the opacity, go to size, make it relatively big, and then change the color right here underneath noise. Change it to whatever color you had your glow, or if you didn't add a glow, just make it whatever color you want it to be. And then toggle the opacity and mess with it afterwards. Make it overlay if you want it to kind of blend in with the background photo. And then if you want to make it work with our glow you already have, just mess with it until it looks like it all fits continually, or continuously, whatever. And I don't know, no, we shouldn't do that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else we might want to do to it. I don't think there is. Alright, so we have the basic photo done. Basically, all of this is done. Hit the bottom photo, hit Shift, hit Control G, and also hit Control J. Keep a copy of it, just in case something goes wrong, but merge one of them. Hit Control E with the group selected, and make one of them just the one that you're going to do stuff on. Keep the other one as a backup. Turn the eye off so you don't see it, you don't have to worry about it, but if something goes wrong with this photo, you have a backup. And do it in case something goes wrong and you need to use your backup. Create a backup of your backup. Just make sure you always have a copy of everything you've done. Now what you're going to want to do, Control Shift N, or go down there, just create a new layer however you like doing it. And the first thing we're going to do is do a little box. As you can see on this example for tomorrow's tutorial is what I named it. You have this little box. I will fix up the little pixelation thing it has. I don't know what went wrong there. I think I have an idea though. But we're gonna start working on this next. If you know how to do it, then go on ahead and do it. It's not really that difficult. But for those of you who don't know how to do it, here's how you do it. Go to your shape tool down here. Make sure it's on rectangle, and just on a new layer, start making a rectangle. It's pretty simple. And then it should bring up the properties for your rectangle. Make it whatever color you want to. I try to keep the same color scheme as what's going on in your photo, so of course we're gonna keep on going red. There we go, we got all the red. You can add a border if you want to. I'm not gonna add a border, or I mean a stroke rather. Add a stroke if you want to, but I'm not going to personally. Now what I like doing, you don't have to do this, but this is what I like doing. Just rasterize the layer again. Hit V. Go and hit Control T while your layer is selected, and it should highlight it, add all these little things up here, make them clickable. Now what you're going to want to do is go up to where you have to start dragging it, or maybe you don't have to do that, that's just what I do. And then just right click on it anywhere. Okay, you can do it anywhere. Right click on it anywhere while it's got the little highlights, and you hit Control T and go to perspective. Now what this does is gives you different things that you have the ability to do. Like you can do that. You can do things like that, make it like a whatever you want to make it. But what we're gonna do is just what that first thing was that I showed you. Go to not warp. What am I doing with my life? Control T, perspective, and take one of the corners and just drag it up or down depending on what you click. And go to interpolation up here and turn it on bicubic smoother, or not, maybe not that, bilinear. So it smoothens it all out. If you have it on nearest neighbor, that's what's going to give it its little pixelated look. So just turn it on bilinear and drag it somewhere relatively close to like the top left area, but not like right at the top left, like just up in the left quadrant to say. So just do that, put it right here, and you'll have a little box. Now what we're going to do with this box is hit T, go to our text tool, let it open up, and you're just going to start doing the same basic thing. Now, I'm not going to really put anything here really, but what you're going to do is just make your text. If you want it to have a shadow so it can be seen on the whiteness, if you have the text color be white, just turn on a drop shadow and just turn the opacity down a little bit, and it should be more easily seen. And then you're just going to want to rasterize the layer style, and it'll all be rasterized. Don't convert it to smart object, just leave it how it is. And then what you're going to do is the exact same thing we just hit Control T on it, because now it's its own shape instead of an actual text file. Go to perspective and just drag this down. This is what I like doing more, just dragging this down and kind of blending this, making this go at a more left to right angle. Leave it on bilinear so it smoothens itself out, and then just drag it down like so. Hit Control T again, make any other fixes you need, and this is what you're going to do for all of them. You're going to make one of them, let me show you. You're going to make one of them, where's my, I closed it. I'll put it on screen, but basically you're going to make one of them inside the box, fit to the alignment of the box, and another one go the same way as your top one. So I'll just go ahead and speed through that for you right now. So yeah, basically this is kind of an idea of how yours should come out as. You'll have your gun, you'll have your photo, your gun will be the more primary focus, you'll have your text, it'll look kind of nice. Obviously you make it however you feel it makes you stand out. You don't need to do it exactly like I did. Add whatever you want to it. And another cool thing that you can do is go up here, go to curves, and at the very top you can kind of add a nice little color correction to it if you just mess around with the curves a little bit. So like, say you drag the bottom one down, you drag the top one up, you make like a little middle one that'll go, and that kind of affects the brightness a little bit, but just go make a nice little adjustment to it. You can go on different color paths or just RGB in general, and just make a nice little small color correction to it if you want to. That's really not all that important. You can change the opacity on it too if you want it just to be even more subtle than it already is, so like maybe 18% on a color correction you make. But obviously this isn't fully how, like I said, this is not fully how you do it. This is just a general idea. I'm trying to teach you steps on how to create something in your own style. Obviously, if you don't have Photoshop, you can use a free program similar to it like GIMP or Paint.net. It obviously will have things in a completely different way, but you should be able to achieve the same kind of effect, I hope. But most people who use Photoshop anyway nowadays use the free trial by making new emails and doing free trials constantly. That's what I used to do. But anyways, this is my first tutorial on this channel. I hope I taught it kind of well. I know I was like all over the place. I was very erratic. I will learn how to do tutorials more in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking if you do. Thank you just for being here. And I'm really happy if I helped you learn how to do something you didn't know how to do before, or helped you, gave you inspiration for something. I'm so honored that I might have been able to do that for you. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, which should be a speed art going up on Sunday. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have fun with your day. Bye.